So hello and welcome to another Mimio tutorial. Today I'm going to show you a puzzle task that you can do with your students. So you have one picture and you chop it up into little smaller squares, and your students then have to put the squares together to make the picture and reveal the image that you want them to see. So you can see my students here doing that. And then afterwards they can check and see if their answers were correct or not. And I did this in order to introduce the topic of the brain and machines, the connection between brain and machines. And so then I had them do a little reading as an introduction. So really this is pretty easy. You can go to this website here, and the link is in the description. And you need to upload the particular picture that you want to chop up by choosing the file. Once you choose your file, you need to decide how many squares you want to divide it into. So in this case, I choose 4 squares in width and 3 squares in height. So that means I have a total of 12 pieces. I hit OK, and it's going to generate 12 individual pictures that I can then download. So here are the 12 pieces of the original picture. I want to right-click and open each of those in a new tab. It's just easier that way. And then I can open one of those pictures, and I can right-click the picture, hit copy, and then I can paste it into my open Mimio file. So I'm going to do that, copy-paste each file one by one into the Mimio. I'm going to speed this up so it's a little bit faster. Of course, you want to choose pictures that are interesting to look at and that are complex, so it's a little bit harder to put together. And I really recommend maybe a total of 12 is a good number of pieces, because any more than that, it's too complicated, and any fewer, and it's way too easy. So you see now that I have all the pieces, they're too big to actually fit together. So I'm going to shrink them by selecting all the pieces and then dragging one of the corners. So they're all the same size. You don't want to do that individually because you'll have different sizes. So select all of them and then drag them all together to make them the same size. I'm still seeing that it's a little bit bigger than what I want. So I'm going to select it again and drag it one more time to make the pieces slightly smaller. So that's good enough for me. Now this is optional, but you can also add numbers to the pictures just to give students clues. So I'm going to make a little circle here, and I'm also going to put a number on top of it. So I'm writing a number here, and I need to make it a little bit smaller so that it fits inside the circle. Let me check to see if it fits. And yep, it fits. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that circle 4 times here. And then I'm going to write the new numbers so that I can drag them on top of the circles and then group them together, of course. So I'm grouping each of the numbers with the picture, with the individual piece, so I can move them all around as one unit. And this is helpful so you can give students a clue. So you can say, okay, number 5 is in the top row. Or if they're having a lot of trouble, okay, number 1 is in the first column. And that can give them a little bit of a clue. I also like to put a playing area. So I put a little square in here, and I make it the same size as the puzzle so that students know where they need to put the pieces. And then you can put all the pieces around that square, and then students can start playing by dragging the pieces onto the yellow square and trying to create the puzzle. So anyway, I hope you found that useful and helpful, and I hope you will experiment with this tool with your students. So see you next time with another Mimio tutorial.